Superman 23.3, aka Hell, written by Scott Lobdell, art by Dan Jurgens and Ray McCarthy. So Hell on Earth happened, and at the end of that, he traveled through time and ended back up on Krypton in the past and was discovered by Jor-El. I get that much. So this issue picks up, I guess, immediately afterwards. Hell is in a healing tank. He's being analyzed by Jor-El, and he's like, my God, this discovery we've made, it's incredible. Inside of his chest is this shard of kryptonite, and it's highly irradiated. Also, I've been analyzing his DNA, and he seems to have absorbed all of this radiation and such, and it's given him incredible powers. And I also speculate that, and he's just telling all this to his random lab co-workers and such. He's like, oh, I also speculate that even if a normal Kryptonian were to absorb all this stuff, they would also gain incredible powers. It's mind-blowing. We could do all this crazy stuff. And basically at that point, he's like, okay, regardless, this guy should be dead by all rights, but because he was so super powerful, he was able to survive that kryptonite shard to the chest. So yeah, he's incredibly lucky, and we'll see what more we can get out of him. So then Jor-El is called to the Temple of Ra or whatever, where there's a council waiting for him, and we see Hell he sees all this. He is able to astral project himself in order to follow Jor-El and see what else is going on. And we see him staring at the other lab coworkers and saying you guys all suck because Jor-El is the smartest there is. He is God amongst you mortals. So he makes his way, follows Jor-El to Ra's temple, and basically Jor-El's just explaining to this council yeah, okay, so we ran some tests on the shard of kryptonite inside of this guy's chest. Turns out that the only way that it could possibly form is from the planet of Krypton exploding. So he is very clearly a time traveler from a future where our planet has exploded. And everyone is like, what? You're saying our planet's going to explode? That's heresy. That's crazy talk. And he's like, well, I'm not saying now. I'm just saying eventually. That's going to be the fate of it. And now that we know that, we can fight against it. We can work against it. We can do something. And this one dude who's super religious or something comes up, and he's just like, oh, and you think that Ra would let these people die, and how dare you say so? You would cause an uproar, you would cause a panic. We will not listen to you. And Jor-El's like, guys, it's the truth. I don't know what you want me to say here. This isn't some hypothesis. This is my conclusion. This is what the evidence points to. And they say, okay, Jor-El, thanks for whatever it is you did. Now get out of here. And as Jor-El's leaving, Hell is like, yeah, man, you stick it to him. You're so cool. I love you. I mean, I like you as a friend. And so Zod pops up, and he's like, hey, Jor-El, what's going on, man? And so they start catching up, and Hell's like, I don't really know much about that guy. I'm not sure why don't I recognize him as much? And we see Jor-El and Zod go to Jor-El's essentially tinkering shop, which is full of all of these huge technological advances. And Hell's like, I don't remember this room. Why don't I remember this room? Why am I not familiar here? And Jor-El points to his sea of things that he's got, and he's like, yeah, I plan on collecting artifacts from all throughout Krypton's history. I've already got 3 eras down. It's all this crazy stuff. And we see Hell pauses on a dragon, which is the same dragon that he sent in his very first issue to attack Superman. And he's like, wait a minute, hold on. But that thing shouldn't be around. That was a thing he shouldn't have been able to know about at all. And then we see a map of solar systems because Jor-El is planning on investigating the idea of what different suns do to Kryptonian cells. So he's sending out a rocket ship to these places to see what the cells do. And Hell's like, wait a minute, that's the chart of the solar system I visited, but he shouldn't know that. And then Jor-El unveils his spaceship, and it says House of El on the side. And so Hell puts his hand over some of the letters, and it says Hell, like the H from house, and then L. And he's like, wait a minute, oh my God. And all of a sudden, Hell comes to a realization. I don't know what the realization is. I can hypothesize here, based off what I'm seeing, is that some cells were sent into space. They were irradiated. They got hit with like kryptonite and stuff. They were sent through like wormholes and whatnot. And as such, the cells ended up growing and they became what is hell. And hell then kind of rationalized using the ship's technology and stuff this past, and he just made up this entire past for himself. He was never actually a guy that really existed on Krypton. And as he comes to this realization, his body shoots up awake. He uses his psychic powers to just kill the scientists in the room and causes a psychic disturbance to everyone else in the area. So Jor-El sees him pop out of the tank and he's like, okay, my other hypothesis was this guy's a time traveler. He's coming here for the ship because it's something about a walking paradox. That's going to be a problem because if he gets to do whatever he wants with the ship, he could be a threat to all of time and space. And Zod's like, sounds to me like you need to blow up the ship, bro. And he's like, good call. Self-destruct sequence, activate. But Hell busts into the room and says, nah, I don't want that ship. You made me think I was born. He's like, I didn't do anything. I don't know what you're talking about. This is completely scientifical, just craziness. And Hell starts attacking Jor-El, starts like blowing up his lab and such. And he's like, oh, yeah, no, I'm here to tell you there's no such thing as hope out there, father. And Jor-El's like, okay, well, we can make some hope. Well, you got all these powers. You could help save Krypton. Don't you want to save Krypton? And Hell's like, no, I don't want to save Krypton. And he snaps Jor-El's neck, throws him down to the ground, takes the cells that were going to go out into space on the ship, replaces it with his own cells, and then fires it off into space. And we see then a portal opens up, and Hell says, I don't want to save Krypton, I want to rule it. And he walks into the portal with a dead Jor-El behind him. I don't know, man. Obviously, this can't be like the real timeline because Jor-El is dead and Jor-El needs to be alive long enough to give birth to Clark. So, I don't know what's going on. We got some time travel shenanigans and like they just completely retcon / changed Hell's backstory where already I thought it was a bit convoluted, but now it's like, no, turns out he never existed to begin with. He's a walking paradox. Sure, man, whatever. I can't speak highly of this issue. I mean, it might turn out into something cool, but so far I've disliked everything Hell has even touched, and this is definitely up there. Because it's not even Hell's story in the end. It's the story of, like, Jor-El messing up in an alternate timeline, and then Hell is just, like, privy to it. Maybe, I guess. So, yeah, I gotta give this one, like, I'm giving it a 4. And that's mainly because I really do enjoy the art. I think it looks good. But if Hell never shows up again, it will paradoxically be far too soon. So it's a 4.